Hello and welcome back, and it's harvest time and this is what it's all about. So I've got my big truck and hopefully I'm going to be able to fill it, and maybe being a bit ambitious with the big one, but the other one is already half full with tomatoes. So that's where I'm going to start off with next, is to carry on harvesting the tomatoes. Right, so I started this filming of this about a week ago. I did a harvest in here and I still haven't roasted those tomatoes. So what I need to do is roast those, but I've still got more to pick now. I just started off on the, is it San Marzano? I always get it wrong, pronunciation of that. So I've got that one. I've got another one down here, nice big one. What we've got, more of these Gens tangerine. Now these really are very productive for me. Got those two, and there's a few more up here. So like I say, these are really productive for me, but like I said in the last part of the video, which you haven't seen yet, is I'm not going to be growing these next year. In fact, I think the only one I'm going to be growing is the cherry Chadwick. All the others I'm not going to be growing. I'm going to be trying quite a few others for next year, and I've actually already picked I've already picked them all out, started planning already for next year. So these again are the orange banana, which they're okay in size. They're not the biggest. Last year I was getting a lot bigger ones, so that's probably how this system of having so many different side shoots coming off is where that's failed a little bit. Right, so there's the orange banana. I think there's one more there. Yeah, that's ready as well. Right, so those are those, and still got plenty of these cherry Chadwick, which has probably been the best or most productive plant, because we've been having these right the way through the last month or so. Right, so I'm going to be adding these to the ones I picked last week, and here's that clip now. Right, so I've done it again. I haven't started recording when I'm coming out to pick some of these tomatoes, so I've already started, and this big one is a Harry's Italian plum. Now we've got bigger ones on this side. This one's really massive one, nearly the size of my hand, and I really like the Harry's Italian plum because it's very much all flesh and just a little bit of seeds. So we've got two. On this side, there's some nice sized ones, but not as big. So I'll know that for next year. I'm actually not going to be growing the Harry's Italian plum next year. I'm going to pick a few other different varieties. Right, so let's carry on harvesting some of these tomatoes. So down here we've got plenty of San Marzano. They definitely need eating or picking. What else we got? Again, more of these Gens tangerine, and this is one that I really use a lot. It really produces quite a bit of tomatoes, but again I may not do this one next year. I may choose a few others. I've got a short list of about 8 at the moment, and when I consider that I've only got 8 plants in here, I'm doing pretty well. Right, let's see these orange bananas. Again, these orange banana, let me just show you these. You get a nice sized plum, and they're really nice for cooking, and that's what I mainly use these all for, is to roast them down and make a nice tomato sauce. So with all these different varieties, I certainly get a really rich flavour as well. So there's a few more of these orange bananas, but again I may not do a orange banana next year. It may be that I go with, there's a purple version, I may go with that. but like I say, we'll see how we go. Right, and these cherry Chadwicks again is another real high producer for me. I just pick every one I can there. You know, when you consider how many I've got off just this one plant, I'm really pleased with how it's worked out. Right, there you go. That's a nice variety, and like I've said, it's really nice to have so many different varieties, so many different flavours, because making those into a nice sauce, it's really rich. So like I say, I just roast those. Right, back into real time now, and I will cover all these plants that I've potted on, and also I've got a few more chilli plants. I've cheesed a little bit, but I just couldn't resist them. Right, so what's next? I think next is going to be the turnips, kohlrabi and potatoes. Right, so I've actually got 9 tubs of Charlotte potatoes to harvest. I'm just going to harvest one because I just want 1 tub. It may be 2, it depends what we get. You just never know. So we've got the March plantings there, we've got the April ones there, and these are the May sowing ones. But this one is an April one, so I'm going to try this one and we'll see what we get. As you can see here, the rocket is thriving behind here, and it's working really well as well. Right, let's go and do these and the kohlrabi and the turnips. Right, I haven't done a potato harvest or reveal for over a year, so I'm really looking forward to either the disappointment or the excitement of getting a good harvest. So let's see what we get. Right, the moments of truth. That's not looking too good yet. Oh, that's all right. Yeah, that's all right. I'm pleased with that. And they are in good condition as well. I was worried about them being not in good condition, but that's all right. Right, let's have a look how we go. Right, I'm quite pleased with that. I know it doesn't look much, but just for one 15-litre tub, that's quite a nice amount. And that's certainly a nice amount for a meal tonight. Well, for the stew. So what's next is these giant kohlrabi. As you can see, they do live up to the name. Well, what I will do next year is actually wait till around about probably the end of July to start sowing these, because they take up so much room. They get absolutely devoured by caterpillars. So I'll probably next year just sow these later on in the season, just so I get more of an autumn crop for them, because they apparently store really well, but they do get to a real big size and they take up so much space with the leaves. Right, so they've got nice big thick stems on them. It's pretty hard to cut. But that's a decent size. You know, once you take off the outer layer, that's a nice amount. Let's just clean it up. There we go. Oh. Right, on to this one. Oh, that really is a nice sized one. Like I say, once they're cleaned up, there's quite a lot inside that. Right, well, the trug's actually starting to fill up a little bit now. These take plenty of space. So next up is these turnips. Now I've got Snowball at the back, and then we've got these, what is it, Sweet Bell in here. Now they were in between the Snowball and the kohlrabi, and I think they've just been shaded out, so they haven't really grown much. The only one that has is this one on the end. I have tasted one of them before and it's quite nice, these purple ones. So what I'm going to do next year is just do the purple Sweet Bell and the purple kohlrabi in April, and then in July I'll start off with the snowball and the giant kohlrabi, because hopefully all the purple ones would have actually been harvested by then, and then can just literally directly replace it for more of the autumn harvest of the giant kohlrabi and the snowball. But we'll see how we go. I keep on changing my plans anyway, so let's see how these go. Right, so first up is the snowball. This one's a multi-sowing one. Right, so those two aren't too bad. I've had a few slug nibbles on that one there, but like I say, they're not too bad. Right. Now this one has had a right old nibble on. I'll see if I can save that half, because that's pretty solid. But I caught the slug in there the other day. Right, well that's all right. The trug's starting to fill up. I'm quite pleased with the snowball turnips, and we'll see how they taste. Right, next on the list is going to have a couple of beetroots in the next couple of days. So I think this one definitely needs picking. This one's a nice size. There you go. I've got some more up there. Right, so this beetroot bed, it's just a jungle now. All the leaves are interlinked. It's really hard just to take out just one or two beetroots. So next year I'm going to have to do a bit more of a spacing. And again, I've planted in so many different varieties. Quite a lot of them hadn't germinated, so I literally stuck them all together. So I have no idea what varieties they are. So like I say, it's really hard to pull them out on camera. So these are ones I've done earlier on. Just done those off camera. I've got no idea of the variety. Maybe they're golden Detroit. I did do that, but I did do another 2 or 3 different varieties. So until a couple are open, I've got no idea. But hopefully they'll taste nice. Right, next is those tomato plants, and also all the seeds I'm going to be sowing next. Right, what am I sowing next? I haven't done any sowings probably for around about 4 to 6 weeks, and it's been really nice just to let the garden just sort itself out and not have to worry about any of the sowings, just to look after them. So again, it's also going to be nice to start sowing again. So this one is just a trial. It's supposed to be March to July when you sow it, but I found out about it this month, and it's just arrived today. So it's leaf broccoli ribbons. Now there's various different varieties of these out there, and all it is you harvest the leaves rather than have a broccoli head on it. So that one is just a trial. I'm just going to see whether it produces a lot better than the kales, because if it does, we may go with that more than the kales next year. So that one's just a trial. Chard. Now the chards out in the beds, that's all a rainbow mix, and I really like the yellow version, so I've gone with Sunset Swiss chard. I think it's quite striking against all the different greenery in the beds. So again, that's more ornamental, but hopefully will be a productive plant, because the chard at the moment in the beds hasn't really taken off yet, so we'll see how we go with that. Mustard was a beaner. Now that was really good for us over the last couple of years, so I'm going to do quite a lot of sowings of that, and that's going to go up into the top beds up against the fence, filling in any gaps. And then we come on to spinach. Now last year the spinach worked really well for me over I think it was around about March and April time. It really came, it really started to produce. So I'm going to go with just a couple of the spinach giant winter. We weren't too keen on the perpetual spinach, so it's just going to do a couple of those just as a fill-in gap. And then This one is the spinach Kohlrabi. I think that's how you pronounce it. This was really good for us, and the nice rounded and smooth leaves really worked well for us. So I've got half a packet there, and I'm literally going to plant up or sow half a packet, and we see what we get. And then I've got two different rockets. Now you've seen that the wild rocket is nearly starting to produce again. So I've got Rocket Voyager and Cultivated Rocket. Now that's a milder version of the rocket, and that did well for us. I think it was around January and February time that really started to produce for us. So what I'm going to do with the rocket is I'm going to keep all of it in here for the time being. Hopefully it all germinates, and I'm going to keep it in here, and every time one starts to fail, then I'll start planting out more of the plants. So hopefully that works again for us. This is winter lettuce Valdor, a butterhead. Is it a butterhead one? Yeah, I think it is a butterhead one. Again, that worked really nicely, and Sarah really liked that one. And the Grenoble red, you just can't go wrong with that. And then, if I've got any more gaps, like I said, I'm going to do some turnips. I may do China Rose Winter, which is a radish, a bit of a long one, similar to a carrot. I may fill in some of the gaps with those, and also with winter radish watermelon. Now both of these are like the turnips, and all the summer radishes that I've had. The woodlice do really attack them. Once the slugs have made a little hole, then the woodlice get in there as well. So I've never had much luck. So every time I put in a turnip and every time I put in a radish, it really is now just to fill in gaps. I'm not going to hope for a good harvest. But we'll see how we go with all those. Like I say, it's going to be really nice to actually start sowing again. But it also means we've got to start looking after the sowings as well. Right, onto these tomato plants. I did film it once, but the wind and the drizzle was just literally hitting me back. So going to do that again. And also got to go through these chili plants just to start harvesting off them. Like I say, I did cheat and buy them, but there's so many on there. Right, so these are the three I've actually decided to go with. I had 6 plants, and what I thought is I'm just going to end up taking up too much room. So what I've gone with is one cherry Chadwick with 2 stems, one orange banana with 2 stems, and one San Marzino with 2 stems. Now the cherry Chadwick is already setting fruit on quite a few of the stems, the trusses. And it's the same with this orange banana, it's just started to set fruit. We've got another truss up here and another couple on there as well. So we'll see what we get. I'm not expecting much, it just is a fill-in gap, because these will be finishing, like I said earlier on in various different videos, probably mid-September. I'll be taking most of these plants down, so I won't have any tomatoes then. So hopefully these will just start to produce then. Certainly the cherry Chadwick could be producing by then. We'll see what we get. I've got probably till the end of October before they may become a bit precarious with the frosts. But I can get down to around about -2 outside, and the tomatoes still surviving here. So it's like I say, whatever we get is whatever we get, and if we don't get anything, at least I know timings if I'm in that same situation next year. But I have already planned out, and I've already started to order the tomato seeds for next year. Right, and then I've also got these. So I've planted up 4 of the Grishofka, they were cuttings and they look pretty. I just picked the 4 healthiest roots and just potted them on. And what I'm going to do is 2 here and probably 2 at the back, and whatever we get is whatever we get off them. Like I say, hopefully we get something before the end of October. And this chilli plant here, I just couldn't resist it. It's got so many chilies on it that hopefully have enough to take us right the way through to the end of next year and further on. That's what I did a couple of years back. They had them at the nursery, and we just bought the plants around about this time, and we just harvested right the way through to November, and we've still got some of those chilies in the freezer. So hopefully I can do this again, and these should be ideal for making a Thai green curry paste, which is what I'm going to be doing in the next couple of weeks. So hopefully I can start to harvest these and also the chilies that I've already grown myself. Right, so I also did this with the white habanero. I got this one from the nursery. There's so many chilies on there, so many flowers. It's just too good to be true. It's only about £6.50 or something like that. So getting that, that's a real bargain. Because you know, they're quite dear, the white habanero, if you just want to buy chilies over the internet. Now, if you compare it with, this is the orange habanero which I've grown, there's just no comparison. I know it's in a small pot, but the roots are still not even showing on it, so I haven't even bothered to pot it on. So we see what we get off this one. But this is what I'm going to be doing, like I say, next year, is hopefully I've got enough chilies to see me through for the next couple of years from all of these. And then if I see any at this time, next year, I'll just buy the full plants and not borrow or have to worry about them over the springtime with all the heat mats and everything else. So we'll see how we go, and hopefully we get a real good harvest of chilies this year. Well, that's quite a heavy truck, that is. I'm really pleased with what I've harvested today. It's going to be a nice stew, and those beetroots will go nice in the tea for tomorrow as well. And it's the same with the tomatoes. Again, that's the second lot that I did just before on camera. Again, really pleased with how this is all turning out. Right, so I'm going to leave it there now. I've got quite a lot to start sowing over the next couple of days. So like I always say, I hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope to see you again.